We got another good episode in the Clone Wars series, or season 7 anyway. So the episode begins exactly where the last one left off, where Ahsoka was basically ambushed by Darth Maul's group of Mandalorians. And Ahsoka and Maul have a talk, and Maul mentions that there will be a bigger rule over the galaxy. And Ahsoka asks, is it gonna be you? Or something like that? And Maul's like, Darth Sidious. Eventually the clones come in and ambush the trio, Maul's army, and they basically retreat. Later, we get to see Ahsoka and the Mandalorian lady. I know people are probably getting really mad that I don't call her by her name. You know what? I'm going to resolve it real quick. Just a second. Bo-Kata Kryze. They basically have a talk. Obi-Wan basically explains how he knows about Darth Sidious and mentions that he can't get any information because Dooku died because of Anakin Skywalker, and that is obviously a callback to Revenge of the Sith, the third movie of the Star Wars prequel trilogy, and my personal second favorite Star Wars movie ever, besides The Empire Strikes Back, and then Rogue One is number 3. But then, Kenobi explains to Ahsoka that, he's busy facing General Grievous, like in the movie. I like how it intertwines the Clone Wars and Revenge of the Sith together. I think it works pretty well. Because the real end to the Clone Wars was Revenge of the Sith. Because the clones turn evil, all the Jedi die, so does the Separatist, and the Empire rises. It's a good homage that actually does work. Mostly. There's some people trying to question Dave Filoni, which I disagree with you. If you're trying to question some of Dave Filoni's logic, the man has probably said some really dumb things. I've heard he's said dumb things before. But he has more of a vision than the entire sequel trilogy of Star Wars. Getting that out of the way, then Ahsoka asks, why not Anakin? And then Kenobi basically explains he is on a secret mission to spy on the Chancellor. Obviously connecting to that scene, but you're probably going to get annoyed with me, so let's move forward. We eventually get to find out, or before, that one of the clones has been taken. I forget his name, but Maul immediately interrogates him. Well, before that, actually, he tells the Syndicate leaders to go into hiding. Probably to reference Solo, which the first box office failure of Star Wars, which I don't mind that. Like, I was fine with Solo. I liked some parts, but not everything. After Maul tells the Syndicate leaders to hide, he basically interrogates the clone trooper. The clone trooper was like, I'll never talk, but then he just gets the information anyway, just using the Force. They begin another assault. Eventually, they make it into the Mandalorian Tower. And basically, they encounter Maul. Well, I think, Captain Rex did. It's hard to remember, since this took 2 days after. I know it's a little ridiculous, but it happens. So they find him. Ahsoka decides to take on Maul alone, But before that, Maul basically explains that they're both outcasts. They were rejected. They need to work together to defeat Darth Sidious. And at one point, it turns out Darth Maul wanted both Anakin and Obi-Wan instead of Ahsoka. And she asks why you want Anakin Skywalker. And he's like, he would bring great... he would bring such dangers or something like that. And she's like, he's going to bring balance in the Force. He's like, he's going to destroy the balance. And explains the whole Palpatine plan. Of course, Ahsoka doesn't believe her, so they fight. And at one point, Maul gets too cocky, and she says, "You're lucky that Anakin didn't show up because you wouldn't have lasted long." And he made this joke, "Oh, you have Kenobi's arrogance." That was pretty funny. They fight. Eventually, the Mandalorians are defeated. Well, the bad ones anyway. Maul is defeated, and he basically gives, before that, he gives Ahsoka one last chance to join him. She denies it. And then Ahsoka, after almost killing him, grabs him with the Force, and then after the clone trooper ships come, he shouts, "You're gonna burn, we're all gonna die," and basically shouts at the clones and Ahsoka because they don't know what they're doing. He gets basically knocked out, taken to captivity, and that's when the episode ends. Pretty interesting episode. I'm wondering how they're gonna extend that into 2 more episodes. Like, they got Maul. How are they gonna do that? If they didn't get Maul the first time, I could understand that, but how are you gonna split that into 2 more episodes? But I guess we'll have to wait until Friday. Next Friday, anyway. But yeah, this is D to the B out. Bye!